Welcome to this video on cold calling tips and insights from the Digital Sales Institute. So, are you considering using cold calling as part of your sales prospecting? You probably have lots of questions and maybe a few concerns. Hopefully, the following tips can help you make a success of cold calling. Maybe a good place to start is to ask, what does cold calling involve? Well, cold calling involves trying to engage potential customers with whom you have not yet spoken directly with. Despite what you may read, cold calling when used correctly still has its part to play in the sales process. You may be interested to know that 60% of more than 1,000 polled senior executives from the IT industry reported taking an appointment or attending an event after receiving a cold call or unsolicited email. Cold calling is still an effective tactic to target new customers and create opportunities for your sales pipeline. To make cold calling work for you requires some effort on your part. Good cold calling, performed properly and not as just a numbers game, is a skill and valued sales expertise whose basic principles are found in the behaviors and techniques of all great salespeople. But remember that picking up the phone to engage a prospect isn't as simple as having an opening pitch and a sales script. You need a structure and a strategy. Before you ever think of picking up the phone, stop and ask yourself, why would a prospect listen to me? What am I offering that would trigger them to engage with me further? To be truly successful, you will need research and preparation. Then to focus on who and why you are contacting them. Plus a plan on how your cold calling fits into your other sales touchpoints, email, social selling, etc. Not forgetting a goal for what you want to achieve from every prospecting call. Cold calling tip 1. Use an ideal customer profile template to understand your prospect. Use the ideal customer profile to get a picture of why they buy what you are selling. Answers to questions such as, what are their challenges, pain points, what is their industry trends, what type of company do they work at? Without researching the prospect against a profile, you are putting your sales pitch above any investment in the person on the other end of the phone. Research and preparation are key before you start cold calling, so you can focus in on the prospects who will be responsive to your value proposition. Cold calling tip 2. Preparing to cold call. Planning and preparing to make those cold calls will determine your level of success. List out all the sales assets and sales touchpoints you have created prior to picking up the phone. Next, write up your value proposition that you will open up with as part of your cold calling script. You are trying to get them to listen by sharing some useful information and then commit to a discussion about their challenges. To get prospects to listen during the crucial first few minutes, you need to be able to communicate your value proposition message clearly and confidently. Ideally, a prospect should not be 100% cold before you call them. What other sales touch points have you completed to increase your chances of a meaningful conversation? Cold calling tip 3. Have a goal and know your outcome for each call. Never have the main objective of your prospecting calls to be to find out who the decision maker is. Your research, planning and preparation should have identified this. A purposeful objective could be to identify their role in a purchasing decision for the product you are promoting. You are not there to waste each other's time, so make sure you are clear about your goals and what outcome you want before you ever pick up the phone. As there are now 5 to 6 people involved in any purchasing decision, also known as the buying committee, always have more than one target profile to engage with in each company. Users and influencers can play a big part in getting the buying committee to consider your offering. Cold calling tip 4. The way you approach people is the way they will respond. Put yourself in the shoes of the prospect. If you are approaching the prospect with a nakedly obvious sales pitch, then expect a nakedly obvious response. Successful cold calling begins and ends with the prospect's best interests at heart. Visualize yourself as a trusted advisor who will be a useful and valuable resource to the prospect, one who shares quality information, is credible and an expert. Your priority is not your company or the product or service you sell. Instead, your priority is the prospect. Because if you prioritize the prospect's needs, you are now existing to bring improvement to their roles and working lives. This really is the test of why you should be cold calling. If you truly believe in what you offer and your personal value proposition reinforces this, then nothing will stop you. The salespeople who struggle in cold calling are the ones selling products or services they really do not believe in, and this is reflected in their approach. Cold calling tip 5. Your value proposition must get to the point. When the prospect answers your call, will your value proposition stand out from the noise in their work life? Are you 100% clear on the value of your solution that will appeal to the prospect's ears and brain? What pain points or challenges are you addressing, and is it compelling enough for them to stay on the phone to learn more? You should have data, statistics, case studies and industry knowledge to back up your value proposition, so you are seen as an expert or advisor. The reason you are phoning them today is that your research, planning and preparation have indicated that you have something to share which is worth their while considering. You are the trusted advisor, not here to waste time or share irrelevant information. You know why you are phoning and why the prospect should listen. Cold calling tip 6. Use trigger events to engage a prospect. Selling in itself does not cause buying. Many purchases come about as a result of some trigger event which causes a challenge or pain point to be addressed. You can tap into these signals, also known as trigger events, by engaging in social listening. As part of your sales habit loop, every day you should be social listening for 15 to 20 minutes on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, Google Alerts or news sites, to keep tabs on recent happenings relating to a set of focused prospects, industry or companies. Some trigger events that research has shown to kickstart the prospect's buying journey include new C-level or senior hires, winning a large contract or large customer win, a company expansion, regulation or industry shifts, company acquisitions or mergers. Cold calling tip 7. Be credible. Use social proof to build rapport and influence. When a prospect asks themselves, "Why should I listen to this person?" your value proposition and how you present yourself must be credible. A great way to gain credibility in the eyes of a prospect is to use social proof within your value proposition. Social proof is now vital in most sales prospecting tactics, from social selling to introductory emails, because it shows the prospect that your product has helped other people with similar pain points. Use stories to support conversations that allow you to connect with prospects rather than just facts alone. We share what we remember with others, and we simply remember stories more than we remember facts. The key is to share a relevant success story or a snippet of information of someone you helped who had challenges similar to the prospect's role or industry. There is a certain art and level of sales skill to make cold calling successful. You must make it part of your sales habit loop, and like every habit you must want to do it, and have reason to do it. It boils down to your drive to do the research, plan, prepare, and then call and call again that differentiates success from failure in cold calling. So, there you have our 7 cold calling tips. We hope that even if you just picked up one small insight, it will have been worth your time watching. Thanks for watching from the Digital Sales Institute.